I need to hear you. I need to hear you clearly. The little Kirk, the little boy Kirk needs to hear you. Are you saying that you reject the results of these two tests? That's what I need to hear.
Yes. My denial, is that going to put a wedge between you and I?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. If you can't give me this, no hug, no word of encouragement, no sugar, no joke, nothing can substitute what I deserve and what I've needed and what I've missed.
He just wants the truth.
Jeez, bro. After all this confirmation, you still getting denied the truth of who this man's father is? Hey everyone, Just Be here, and I want to do a reaction, a bit of a breakdown to the documentary that Kirk Franklin put out just yesterday about him discovering his biological father. I mean, it's starting to blow up and go viral on social media. It's very, very emotional. I'm gonna warn you guys right now, it's very raw. And break out the Kleenex. I want to be sensitive, obviously, to him and to his family about this, and I don't want to create any sort of wild, commentary. But let's take a look at it and see what it's about.
I've been homeless. I bathed in a church bathroom. Won 19 Grammys. Had a career that was beyond my imagination. I've survived death several times, endured public shame.
Wow, bro.
But nothing could prepare me for what God had in store for me in 2023. I was born Kirk Smith. I was raised in a neighborhood called Riverside in Fort Worth. Low-income community, pimps, prostitutes, clubs on the corner, liquor store right around the corner from the house. I would go to church every Sunday with the woman that adopted me, Gertrude. She adopted me when I was 4, and she was 64. She didn't have any children, but she was a distant relative. There was never a time that I don't remember not knowing I was adopted. It was always a part of the framework of who I was. I don't remember having birthday parties when I grew up. I don't remember cakes and candles and gifts. I wasn't raised with siblings. I wasn't raised with cousins. I wasn't raised with relatives. I lived by myself.
I didn't know this about him. I didn't know this.
I would see my biological mother, Deborah, maybe once or twice a year. When most non-African American kids get adopted, they are going through a system. They don't really know their mother or father for the most part. And so even though they know that
he would see his mother, his biological mother, while he's adopted, he would see her once or twice a year. Once or twice a year.
Now you get pissed. There's a girl that sings with me. Her name is Melody. I've been knowing Melody since she was a little girl. Melody calls me one night. She said, Kirk, I gotta tell you something. In Melody's church, there was a funeral for a lady who is my biological aunt, Deborah's sister. I didn't go to the funeral because I knew Deborah would be there. I hadn't seen her in over 23 years. At the funeral,
he calls his mom Deborah, obviously because they didn't have a relationship. And his childhood friend was going to the funeral of his biological aunt, the sister of his biological mother. Okay.
Melody's dad has a good close childhood friend. His name is Rick. Rick says to Melody's family, I dated Deborah when I was a little boy.
So this random guy she meets at the funeral says that he dated Kirk's biological mom when he's a little boy.
A random funeral, a random moment in time. This cosmic collision of humans having a conversation at a funeral. Now they're looking at Rick, they're looking at his ears, they're looking at his eyes, looking at his hands, they're looking at his height. And so the rumor mill kind of starts to happen in the church, and then it gets the ears of Deborah. Deborah hears about that there's a man that could be Kirk Franklin's dad. Deborah finds my number, calls, leaves a message.
First saved message. If you would like to talk to me about the rumor that is floating around out there, call back. Just remember, as I told you once, I will not lie to you about anything. End of message, delete.
Okay.
Resave.
Mr. Rick,
Suspicious.
on his own, he gets a DNA test, swabs himself, gives those swabs to my good childhood friend Melody, and says, hey, everybody's running their mouth. If Kirk wants to know, if there's...
So the guy goes ahead and takes a DNA test, who was at the funeral, his alleged biological father. He takes a DNA test on his own just because the rumors are running. They're running around. So, okay.
Any truth to this or any possibility, he can take these swabs and do whatever he wants to do. Because Mr. Rick doesn't know. He's just responding to the rumors.
Hold on real quickly. You guys want to see something crazy? Over 99% of you guys that watch my content are not subscribed. So I'm asking real quickly, if you don't mind, just hit the like button and hit subscribe real quickly. I'd love to keep on giving this content to you guys and lets me know that people actually are interested. Feel free to do that, man. Really appreciate it a lot. Would help me out a long way in growing my small channel. Thanks. Thanks. Now back to the video.
I have had many years of men and women coming out of the woodwork saying that they're my dad. So it wasn't new to me. What was new for me is how close it was to somebody that I knew. So
Okay,
I go get
gotcha.
my swabs done, and a couple of weeks later, I get a call from my doctor.
So he did the test himself, just because it was so close to him. So somebody he trusted now, after years of people, being fakes. Okay.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Okay, so let me give you these results and not beat around the bush. It says the results are probable paternity, 99.99999%.
Percent what?
Yes, he's your father. Right there.
What? 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 What?
Yeah, 99.
What?
Yeah.
Sheesh. For reference, at this stage, Kirk is 53 years old. And he already thought he found his biological father, a man who died a few years ago. And he had to make amends with him. And wow. You know what it is to find out your whole life it's been a lie, bro?
What? 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 This man is my father? This man is my father? My mama lied to me again?
I buried the man I thought was my father. I flew to Houston to make peace with him, but in 2017, I got an anonymous phone call that he was dying of cancer.
Wow.
His name's Dwight. I said to him, I'm told that I'm the biggest selling gospel artist in history. I'm told that I've done this, the first of this, the first of that I've won more this than that, more than that. But because I did not have you to tell me who I was,
It doesn't matter.
I've always been the most insecure man in the room.
Jesus.
And he looked at me, he said, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say. That's all he could give me.
Wow.
He couldn't give me anything else. And I had to take it.
But you had to deal with that. Like that's all you gonna get. Like, bro, I have all this success, I have all this fame, but none of it means anything because I didn't have you in my life. You were the missing piece in my life. This man who he believed was his biological father. And the moment where he decides to open up to him and said, listen, all of that means nothing because I'm insecure because I didn't have you. And he doesn't have the emotional capacity enough to return that to him. So imagine how that had to sting, bro. Bro, this is heavy.
And that was my last time seeing Dwight.
Tammy, I'm adopted, and I've lived my whole life trying to figure out who I am. I'm saying that I have hated one man my whole life.
I know, and you were hating the
And
road.
he didn't deserve it. This man went to his grave.
Thinking that, bro, what the
This man went to
heck?
his grave. I gotta process this moment. Because I'm processing a lie.
Yeah.
I'm processing a lie.
He hated the wrong man. He hated the wrong man who he thought it was his father. Do you know the whirlwind of emotions this man must be feeling right now? Oh my gosh, bro.
I gotta go. I have to go. Okay, I gotta go. Okay. I gotta go.
So now Kirk got to record a whole album. He wasn't expecting this to happen. Now he got to record a whole album. 2 hours later, going into the studio, finding out this happened. Tell you something, boy. God will put you through some tests. And that album probably is going to be anointed, bro.
This man is my daddy. This man is my daddy. I'm gonna have to go to this guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to go to this dude, man. Oh boy, so in the middle of this record, this is what we're doing. That's what we're doing in the
That's
middle
what
of
it
the
is.
record. So, we're just gonna get it in. And,
So now he's
Hello?
calling.
Sandra,
Who? Who you calling?
Aunt Sandra.
Thank you. Okay. Hi, Kirk.
How you expecting me to call you Auntie Sandra if I don't have a relationship with you? How? And you won't have an attitude on the phone. Boy, listen to me. Black people, we is something, boy. We are something.
You know, that's not something that I appreciate, but I'm not gonna.
It shouldn't be, because how you doing that? What?
That's
Deep
okay.
into it. You know, if that's how you want to continue to communicate with me, listen, I need to see you and Deborah.
You demanding?
So how do you want me to get back with you?
I'm going to
on
text you.
that number?
No, I'm going to text you this number.
Okay.
I'm going to text you this number and just give me a call back.
All right then.
Okay, thank you.
So now he's meeting with the guy who
We went over there and
biological father.
the anxiety was off the charts. It was crazy. I don't feel all of the stuff that you feel in movies. I'm just feeling numb. And at the same time, I'm also preparing my heart. This man lives down the street from my recording studio. He lives in the same city that I work in. His house is adjacent to a house that my youngest son would go play at when he was in high school.
His biological father has lived down the street from his recording studio all this time. All this time. The man's house is across the street from the house his son used to play at as a kid. Think about how crazy that is. Like the missing piece to your life that you felt so strongly about your whole life was literally just down the road and you didn't know. Boy, we can do some damage, man, as people. Wow, bro.
Oh my gosh. I'm just panicking.
So it looks like he's traveling with his assistant. And assistant got some papers.
Gentlemen.
So this is the guy, Rick Hubbard. Kirk's biological father, Rick Hubbard.
Enter. I'm Rick Hubbard.
Hey, my name's Kirk. You know, I see him. I can't even tell you what I felt, what I was thinking. I was just lost, not knowing what to do. Not knowing what to do.
There's no judgment, and I hope that you know, whatever. I still don't know the outcome of this testing because I didn't feel like that was for me to know.
Okay. So at this stage, Rick Hubbard, the man who is supposed to be his biological father, like he did a test and Kirk did a test, but it looks like Rick doesn't know that the result of Kirk's test. He's assuming, maybe it might be something else. He doesn't know. So at this stage, Kirk knows, but the other guy doesn't.
You're the most important person in this equation in figuring out your history.
So you're saying to me that it never came up, that I've always wondered if I was...
That was not mine. It was never in
Somebody just looked at you. And when you had said that you and Deborah dated, and somebody just looked. Now, when Deborah got pregnant, were you around?
So somebody had, so I guess either he's saying his friend Melody looked at him at the funeral, and however they get connected at the funeral is like, you look like Kirk Franklin. Boy. Yeah.
But it wasn't big news when Deborah got pregnant.
I don't remember.
Doesn't remember.
Because because during that time, in such a small neighborhood like Riverside, because Riverside's a little
Very, very small neighborhood. I don't remember that kind of talk or gossip. Or
Okay.
anything like that. It never occurred to me that at any point in my life, with anybody that I've ever been with, that you could have a child with that person or that person or that person. Because I can tell you, had I been aware of any such possibility, I would have pursued the truth of that.
If he had known that he had any child, he seems to be a stand-up guy. He said that if he had known that there was a possibility he had a child out there with anyone, he would have been involved in that child's life. Imagine hearing that, boy. And something so simple, something so easy, down the street, ready with open arms, but yet so far, 53 years of this man's life, of Kirk's life. Wow. Hands in the test that he took. My boy instantly put it down. Instantly. Wow, bro.
Sorry, man.
It's not your fault. You didn't know.
I'm sorry.
they didn't know. He didn't know. If he had known, Kirk Franklin's whole life would be different. Because it looks like the guy, nice home, looks like he's married, looks like he's stable, all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't look like he's a, just any old guy. Wow. That must sting, bro. Jeez.
Hey, didn't know.
I didn't, man. And had I known, you would have known. And I would have been
You didn't know.
Would have been there.
You didn't know. All right.
Let me get myself.
No, it's fine. Come here, man. Come here, man. Give me a chance. This is going to be a lot, but I want to hug you. Please forgive me if it's not the best hug. No, bro. Just. He didn't even know. He didn't even know he had a son. And I didn't even know I had a father. That close. I was that close. I was that close to having a daddy. I wanted a daddy so bad.
That is hard because life just could have been so different. Things could have been so much easier. There's so much trauma and pain and hurt he wouldn't have had to gone through if people were honest. If different decisions were made.
All of those times I didn't know what love was. Love is a muscle that has to be trained. And if it's never been trained, just because you get introduced to it doesn't mean you know how to receive it.
Love is a muscle that has to be trained. That's a good one. Love is a muscle that has to be trained. Wow. Okay.
Is I think that you become indoctrinated in trauma. That you become institutionalized.
Yes.
In your trauma.
We do.
In some sick, warped, broken way, you wonder, who am I? Well, because I've only known me broken.
That's a question so many of us have. Who am I when I'm whole? Who am I when I'm healed? Who am I when I'm well? Because all I know is me. Just broken, traumatized, issues. But who am I? Absent from all of that. Who am I? Put together all the pieces. Restored. So now he's going to visit his biological mom.
Somebody to contaminate my reaction.
Bro, he hasn't seen her in 23 years. He has not seen his biological... But then the sister of the mom had the audacity to have an attitude with him on the phone and knowing they don't have a relationship. He don't have a relationship with the mother, the biological mother. He has a relationship with her, but she wouldn't have an attitude on the phone. Talk about, oh, you gonna call me auntie. What? Like that to be me in that phone.
Mind game, because again, this is my story. This is my moment. So I was intentional. Hi.
Get your ass out.
See, boy, listen to me. That's problems right there off the rip. I probably ain't see you. This is...
I ain't signed shit yet. Come on.
Okay, that's the auntie. That's the auntie. His assistant was with him trying to get everybody to sign, I guess, the waivers for you to license them to use you on camera and stuff. And so in order for them to start filming and whatnot properly, you got to sign it. She comes to open up the door and first off, you cursing at me telling me to get my bleep out. And I ain't signing this yet. What kind of prideful, egotistical, stank reaction is that in such a sensitive time?
You have to sign the paper.
Knowing we don't have a relationship. Knowing that.
Well, on the inside.
No, I'm sorry. Right now, Auntie Sandra, please.
Oh, okay, you call
Did
me.
Deborah's home?
She's not here yet.
Oh.
Yeah. She's on her way.
Okay, well, if you don't mind, I'm going to stay in here until she comes. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
He's
I already have anxiety because I'm being treated like a 10-year-old little boy.
Yeah, treat like a little boy. Yeah, I no respect for you. That's listen, that's messed up, man.
53. But I feel like I'm a 10-year-old boy. Like I feel the nervousness like a 10-year-old little boy.
53.
The pattern of trauma is a very difficult pattern.
This man is hugging his biological mother for the first time in 23 years. In the same day that he met his biological father for the first time. Boy, the amount of emotions that's got to be going on right now.
To try to rewrite. It's because not only is it those in the struggle that are trying to rewrite it, but when you have systemic issues that sometimes encompass those that are trying to rewrite and rework, it can make the battle more difficult. is I want you to know, and I want Sandra to know, that you not knowing how to love made me not know how to love. And I have fought my whole life. I don't want to fully love my wife. I don't want to fully love people. I love through fear. I love through a performance. I've always wanted people to like me because I was always wanting to be accepted by, understandably, the two people that I wanted to love me the most, my mom and my daddy. And this rich situation has shaken my life forever. How in the hell in this small neighborhood does everybody know everybody, but this one little baby got dropped?
People know. That's how our black community goes. That's how it is. We know. We know. We just don't like to feel like, oh, well, it's not my business to say anything or whatever else. But yeah, that's probably so-and-so's actual son. But, you know, she left a while ago and he got adopted and blah, 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 blah. But I remember when they were together and all that kind of stuff. And I'd see them around the corner and they'd do whatever. And then she got pregnant not too long after and blah, blah, blah. The community deep down, there's people deep in the community that knows. And they think they're doing some good by, you know, saying that they're staying out of it. But it takes a village to raise a child. How is it that all those people in that community knows this and then he, within the process, gets dropped? But you're good because you get to keep silent and keep your face and, oh, you want to seem like you're respecting privacy. Now, this child grows up through the system. Because why? You didn't want to do right? Speak up? Help people understand where their roots?
This one girl is pregnant. She said, this boy's the daddy. He wasn't there. This other one is the daddy. He didn't know, but the baby gets dropped. How does that happen?
Probability of paternity?
Yes, ma'am.
100%. How is that possible?
So his mom's reading the paternity results right now. Okay. All right. What she got to say?
It's not, baby. I can swear on my dead mother's grave. Rick Hubbard is not your father.
How could that be possible? The science, the results are showing it. What you talking about? What?
I don't know what happened, how this paternity test came back 99.95%.
What do you mean what happened? Was there some mess up in the lab? These things don't lie. What? You know what that is? That's pride, bro. That's pride. You've told a story your entire life and you want to cover your tracks. You want to have your cake and eat it too. You want to have a relationship with your biological son, but you don't want to tell him the truth. And when he goes out and finds the truth for himself, and because that truth doesn't line up with the story you told him your whole life and his whole life, you want to now be prideful and have your ego intact and deny the fact that the science that's showing the DNA test that you said my father was this guy, but it was actually this guy, and this is revealing that you lied to me. Now you want to say, oh no, the science is wrong. The biological test that you did is wrong. I'm right. Wow.
But I really would like to get to the bottom of it.
There's so many voices out there right now.
What's that to get to the bottom of? Wow.
I found the answer is really simple.
My boy counting polls right now.
The entire time. My knee-jerk reaction is to be alone. When I feel overwhelmed and not really able to have language to moments, I just need to just be alone. I need to get alone.
So his mom rejected the results. So now, at her request, she wanted to see the second test being administered and done. Okay. And the second test confirmed that the man is his father. So now you got 3 sets of tests. The first one that Rick did, the one that Kirk did, and now this other one that, I guess by an independent clinic or whatever it is, that also confirms the same thing, just to satisfy his mother.
Did I know 2 months ago that we would be here?
Okay, this is his father. This is probably his father's wife.
That I have a 53-year-old son. Yeah. It's not something that I was looking for, but I am grateful that I have discovered that I do. I have enough room and enough love in my heart.
And what's crazy is that if you guys look at this hug that he's sharing with his biological father right now is probably the embrace that his mother has wanted from him his whole life.
For you and whoever else you choose to bring into my life, our hearts, our arms, and our doors are open to you. For you to get her at your pace.
Man, you know what kind of healing that probably does to him in that moment? Listen, My heart is open to you. My door is open to you. However pace you want to take this, I'm here. I'm here for you, son. And whoever you want to bring along. Your family, I'm here. That probably unlocked so much chambers in Kirk that he didn't even know was locked.
On your terms. Because it is about you. It is about you.
Got a 53-year-old man crying like a baby, bro. Finally being held in the arms of his father. Okay.
But I was homeless and hungry and begging for food and at the pawn shop, pawning Gertrude's lawnmower just to get some food. Taking Carrie down to the child support office by myself. I'm behind my child support and he's got to go with McLean Cotton babysitter. My car's been repoed off the church parking lot. That's my story.
This I cannot accept because this is not true. And I apologize from the bottom of my heart on this.
You tested out to put in front of you. I need to hear you. I need to hear you clearly. The little Kirk, the little boy Kirk needs to hear you. Are you saying that you reject the results of these two tests? That's what I need to hear.
Yes.
What? I'm confused. All these tests and you still... Oh... Let me be sensitive. Let me not say certain
My
things.
denial, is that going to put a wedge between you and I?
Absolutely. What you mean that can put a wedge between us? What do you mean? You're trying to tell me... Finally, I get the answer I want. And you're trying to sit here and tell me it's not true. But I still want to have a relationship with you. But the test is saying something else.
Yes. Okay. Yes. If you can't give me this, no hug, no word of encouragement, no sugar, no joke, nothing can substitute what I deserve and what I've needed and what I've missed.
He just wants the truth.
Now Auntie tell them, just listen. Just tell them the truth, eh? Cut it out. Just tell them the truth. Because Auntie knows. She know. They talk. She know.
The DNA. The DNA.
The DNA.
Yes.
I need my mom.
And I need my son too.
Yeah, but you need your son too. Okay.
I have wanted this so badly.
If my mama watches this, I want her to know.
And I still can't have you.
You could. You could have him. You could. If you just lay down the pride, lay down the ego for a second, son. Yeah, okay. I lied to you. Okay, yeah, it's true. It's true.
Her to know.
And I still can't have you.
That I have lost so much not having you. And it would have been really, really, really nice to get that from you. The old adage, hurt people hurt people. So I just gotta live with this reality. It's my reality of what you can't give me. And that I must make difficult choices of what I can give you.
That's a hard thing to swallow. He has to make peace with the fact that his mother will never be able to give him what he wants.
First of all, that's his grandfather, so he needs to know. And so
Okay.
this was a moment to try to find reconciliation, to find
I remember they were talking about this in the news before. Kirk was having some issues with his son. And his son was online saying all kind of stuff. So now I guess he's letting him know.
What do you want to say? I want you to be comfortable. Just what do you want to say? You just tell me whatever makes you comfortable. What do you want to say?
They haven't seen or spoken to his son in 2 years.
Do you want to know about what I'm about to share with you?
It already hurts and I don't even know what it is. Every text message I sent you hasn't been responded to.
Well, I know we got a lot of other things that we have to deal with and address, but I have something that I think that when you find this out, it's going to be life-changing. So,
His son, he's like, oh, you come in here to tell me about something else, and we ain't dealing with us? Okay.
I don't know.
And now, so son, Carrion, he's sitting in the defensive position. Once you see that, and that leg fold, that's the defensive position. Let me hear what you got to say. Because you saying, you tell him you come to lay something on my doorstep. And the stuff I've been trying to reach out to you about for our relationship for the last 2 years, and you haven't responded to me. You didn't respond to none of my texts. Christmas, all that. And now you got something to tell me? Okay, let me hear this.
how much you know, and not to just make assumptions that you know all the details and nuances.
99.9%. He's your father.
Wow, 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 wow. Wow. Wow, wow.
This is the only thing that I need that's been missing from my life. This right here. There's nothing I ask God for every single day I wake up. I have everything that I want except you and my grandfather. I love you, man.
Call it out. Father's Day. And the long run is what I missed, where I am, and what's always been.
What's always been. Wow.
I'm sorry for every moment that you have felt.
So now he's making amends
Whatever you have
with
felt
his son.
against your dad. I want you to know that I'm sorry.
I forgive you, Dad. I have to forgive you because you've forgiven me. All of the things that I've done.
His son says, all I ever wanted was this with you. Have this relationship with you and the relationship with my grandfather. So now you got 3 generations of men right now just finally being able to put the pieces of them that have been missing. And for Kirk's biological father that he didn't even know he had, like, he didn't even know he had a son. Now all these pieces are being put together for all these generations, all at once. Wow.
Outside of our family and within our family.
You know, I haven't seen my son in almost 10 years like that. And so I'm looking forward to touching his face more and being close to him more as much as possible. Now, we're still a work in progress. I mean, this is our journey. This is going to be our journey for a while.
Oh man. Yeah, that's a lot, man, because you know, in a lot of ways, I really resonated with this because I've never really shared my own personal story like online and whatnot, and I'll probably do more of that. But you know, there's a lot of commonalities between what's happened here and what's happened in my own personal life, my own parents, and yeah, this really evokes a lot of emotion out of me, and it takes a lot for Kirk to be able to share this story with us. You know, and this is the kind of embrace that I wish, you know, in some ways as well, that I could be able to have with my father one day, and be able to reconcile and have this level of intimacy and so on and so forth. But yeah, this whole story with Kirk, his biological father, his son, just goes to show, man, like, we may think so little of the decisions and the choices that we make in our own daily lives, and we don't think about the ripple effect of what those choices and those decisions are going to have for generations to come. These are 3 generations of men that have been just severely impacted by them, and not just them, but their wives, the rest of their extended family, their kids. And to think about how life could have been so much different, so much more easier if just someone told the truth. And we don't want to blame people, whatever, but obviously, are you saying, listen, he hasn't spoken with his mom, I guess, since then and all that. But this is heavy, man. I pray that they continue to get the healing that they need, and they're able to come together all one day and have forgiveness, have that camaraderie, have the togetherness that God intended for the family. And yeah, man, that's just, wow. I find so much, yeah, it's heavy, but let me know what you guys think about it. In the comments. It's, I'm usually much more upbeat than this, but yeah, this is really close to home for me. Not to, overtake his story, of course, but yeah, really, really close to home. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. about this whole thing. I mean, just till next time. Peace.